Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so the 2025 college football season is coming up fast, and all eyes are really on the Colorado Buffaloes.
Huge expectations, right, with Coach Deion Sanders there.
Absolutely immense, and frankly, there's a lot riding on this season for them, a lot to prove. So today, we're diving deep into, well, a major defensive worry. Something that, if they don't sort it out quickly, could honestly unravel things right at the start.
Yeah, we've been looking at this really detailed analysis, focusing on those first two games, Georgia Tech and Delaware.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it highlights what the sources are calling the Eric Rivers problem and also the running quarterback dilemma.
Two big potential headaches right out of the gate.
Definitely. So our mission today is to really unpack why this specific defensive approach is, well, so risky. And maybe more importantly, what Colorado absolutely has to do, like now, to avoid stumbling early.
Okay, let's dig in.
So what's the core issue here? The analysis points to the new defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston.
Right. His scheme. It's supposed to be aggressive, athletic, which sounds good on paper.
It does. But the problem is, it seems dangerously predictable.
Yeah.
Why? Because it leans so heavily on man-to-man coverage.
And that predictability, well, that's the trap. It leaves them wide open, vulnerable to speed mismatches, isolation plays, you name it.
The source really hammers this point, relying constantly on cover one or cover zero looks, basically leaving corners on an island, often with zero safety help deep.
Yeah, that's just asking for trouble. The source calls it playing with fire, a really high-risk gamble, down after down.
Okay, so let's make this concrete. Talk about Georgia Tech's Eric Rivers.
Oh, yeah. This is where the risk becomes really obvious. Eric Rivers, he's not just some average receiver. The description is 6'1", 195-pound blur of route running precision and top-end speed.
A blur.
And not just a deep threat, crucially. He's described as a nightmare in space, meaning he can catch a short pass and just make guys miss. Elusive.
That sounds terrifying for a defensive coordinator, especially week one. You know Georgia Tech is going to scheme him open.
Absolutely. They'll move him everywhere. Slot, bunch sets, split out wide, use motion to figure out what CU is doing defensively before the snap. It's like textbook exploitation of a tendency.
So they identify the coverage, then they isolate the mismatch.
Exactly. And the source points specifically to CU cornerback DJ McKinney, expecting him to just shadow Rivers and press man all game. That's called unrealistic and frankly unfair.
Why unfair? What's the specific issue?
Well, the analysis says McKinney, talented guy, but he lacks the fluid hips and recovery speed needed to consistently lock down someone with Rivers' kind of quickness and route running one-on-one.
Okay, so if you leave him, or really any CUDB, alone on Rivers, especially if you're blitzing and there's no safety deep.
You're asking for 6, as the source puts it, a touchdown waiting to happen.
And the potential fallout isn't just points on the board, right?
Yeah.
It's busted plays and confidence collapses. That can snowball fast.
Oh, definitely. A rough start like that can shake a team's confidence early. And thinking ahead to week 2, you might assume, okay, Delaware, maybe that's a breather.
Maybe not.
The sources say don't overlook them. Yeah, they don't have Georgia Tech's, national profile, but their offense, it's called explosive. They can score.
Okay, so Delaware is a real threat too. What makes them dangerous against this man coverage scheme?
Well, first, they've got weapons. They return 3 all-conference players, plus a dual-threat QB. And why they thrive against man is key. It makes defenders chase. Backs turn.
Right. Backs turned opens up lanes.
Exactly. Lanes for the QB to scramble or for those tricky rub routes and pick plays. Delaware apparently uses a heavy dose of mesh concepts, those shallow crossers.
Designed to create traffic jams for man defenders.
Precisely. Plus option routes and snack formations. It's all stuff specifically built to beat man coverage. And this points to a bigger issue for Colorado.
Which is?
Depth. The sources say CU lacks the depth and top-end talent to survive repeated man-to-man breakdowns in the secondary. It's not just one matchup problem. It's potentially a wider issue if they stick to that base man.
Okay, so the passing game is a major worry. But the source also mentioned the running quarterback dilemma. How does man coverage make that worse?
Yeah, this is crucial. Man coverage, already risky against the pass, becomes what the source calls an outright Achilles heel against QBs who can run.
Why is that? What happens schematically?
Think about it. Defenders have their eyes locked on their assigned receiver. Their backs are often turned to the quarterback.
Ah, okay, so they don't see the QB takeoff.
Exactly. It creates these natural running lanes. Suddenly, the QB sees daylight and can rip off a 15 to 30-yard run untouched. And apparently, Colorado found this out the hard way multiple times last season, so it's a known vulnerability.
And both these early opponents have QBs who can run.
Seems so. Georgia Tech's QB can extend plays, run inside or out, reads the rush well. Delaware's guy reportedly thrives on broken plays, good at reading the contained defenders.
So they can turn a pass play that looks covered into a big gain on the ground because the defenders aren't looking at them.
Precisely. It completely changes the defense's responsibilities, which is why the analysis says CU must install a spy. Have someone, maybe an athletic linebacker like Levante Bentley, just keying on the QB.
Sure.
Or shift into more shallow zones sometimes. Let defenders actually watch the QB's eyes and his legs, not just chase a receiver.
Because if they don't adjust...
The warning is pretty stark. Failure to adjust will allow even modest quarterbacks to look like Heisman contenders. Ouch.
Okay, so the defense has issues, but you mentioned the offense has a role here too. How does offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur fit in? It seems indirect.
It is indirect, but really important. Think about it. If the offense keeps going 3 and out, or just can't sustain drives, what happens?
The defense is right back out on the field. Tired.
Exactly. Gas defense leads to mental mistakes, corners get worn down, coverages get busted. It's a cycle. Shurmur's job isn't just scoring points.
It's supporting the defense too.
Right. The source says he needs to run a game plan that supports the defense, maybe mix in more tempo control, some zone reads, screens, short yardage plays, things that move the chains, control the clock. Give the D a break.
And it goes beyond play calling.
Right.
The source suggests he should be talking to Livingston.
Yeah, advocating for more zone coverage. Cover 3, quarters, matchup zones. It implies it needs to be a coordinated, staff-wide strategic decision, not just defense working in a silo.
A team effort on strategy. Makes sense. So it's not that man coverage is inherently bad.
No, absolutely not. It definitely has its place. Think red zone, 3rd and short. Field is compressed. You can play tight press. It's a valuable tool.
The tool, not the whole toolbox.
That's a good way to put it. The issue is using it as a base defense. That's where the analysis says it's a losing formula, especially against these up-tempo spread offenses like Georgia Tech or RPO teams like Delaware.
It's just too predictable, too easy to exploit if that's all you do.
Right. Look at the best defenses historically. Saban's Alabama teams, Georgia recently, what do?
They mix things up, lots of zone, pattern matching.
Exactly. Pattern match zones combined with occasional man blitzes. It's the deception, the source says, that keeps offenses off rhythm. You don't know what's coming.
And the encouraging part is Colorado apparently has the athletes to do this hybrid style.
Yeah, the analysis mentions safeties like Carter Stoutmeyer, Tawfik Byard, linebackers like Martavius French, Kylan Salter, guys who can potentially play multiple roles in zone or match concept. So the personnel might be there. There's no reason to put every DB on an island constantly.
Okay, so they have the potential players. They see the problem. What specifically do the sources say Colorado needs to do, like right now? There's a playbook suggested, right?
Yes, a pretty clear strategic path forward. Number 1, shift to more zone coverage. Simple as that. More cover 3, cover 4 quarters, matchup zone principles. Let the DBs see the ball, read the QB, keep plays in front.
Okay, more zone. What else?
Yeah.
Specifically for that Eric Rivers problem.
Number 2, double team Eric Rivers. Bracket him on key downs. Put a linebacker underneath and safety over top. Make someone else beat you. Don't let their best guy cook you one-on-one.
Smart. Take away the primary threat. What about pressure? Still bring heat.
Number 3, use mix and match pressures. This is clever. Send simulated pressures. Show blitz, make the offense adjust protection, but then drop guys out. Rush 4, drop 7 into zone. Confuse the O-line, confuse the QB.
Okay, deceptive pressure. Makes sense. What about personnel?
Number 4, rotate personnel to keep fresh legs. We talked about fatigue. Use a deeper rotation, especially at corner and safety. Avoid those tire mistakes late in drives or games.
Good point. And linking back to the offense.
Number 5, make the offense part of the defense. Shurmur calling those slower developing drives with high percentage throws. Let Shedder Sanders control the tempo. Ball control equals rested defense.
And finally, the pre-snap look.
Number 6, adjust pre-snap looks. Crucial, don't just line up and show your hand. Disguise coverages pre-snap. Then maybe roll coverage post-snap. Make the QB guess. Bait him into bad throws. Confusion is your friend on defense.
Okay, that's a pretty comprehensive list of adjustments. It sounds like the bottom line is pretty clear-cut then.
It feels stark, yeah. Adapt or get exposed. The source is blunt. If Colorado sticks with baseman, they're essentially inviting Georgia Tech and Delaware to pick their weakest link over and over.
Which could easily lead to that 0-2 start, with Rivers having a field day, a very real possibility.
But, and this is important, it doesn't have to go that way. The pieces are there. CU has the brains, the speed, and the leadership to shift gears. It's about making the choice to do so.
So it comes down to coaching adjustments. Shermer thinking bigger picture, Livingston calling smarter, more varied coverages.
And Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, ultimately needing to demand in-game adjustments if Plan A isn't working. You can't be stubborn.
Because, as the source concludes, great teams adapt, winning coaches adjust, and championship-level programs evolve when the film reveals the truth.
And the film, or at least this analysis, seems to be revealing a pretty clear truth right now.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it really boils down to a critical strategic choice for Colorado heading into the season, doesn't it? Stick with the aggressive but predictable plan, or evolve.
Exactly. And like we said, it's not about ditching aggression entirely. Colorado doesn't need to do that, but they have to wield it with wisdom. Use man coverage like a scalpel, maybe? A dagger, the source says. Strategic.
Not a dull butter knife swung wildly at every snap. I like that analogy.
Yeah. Precise situational aggression blended with sound zone principles.
And if they do learn this lesson, if they make these kinds of adjustments, it's not just about surviving Georgia Tech and Delaware. It's about building a foundation for potentially a really successful, bowl-worthy season.
It could be the difference maker. And maybe there's a thought for you, the listener, beyond football here. How does this idea of strategic adaptation, of recognizing when your base approach isn't working and needing to pivot, apply elsewhere? In business, life, anywhere, a course correction might be needed based on the film.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.